Let me ask you this, Gustav. Do you like being a man in Sweden?
Man in Sweden, there is a lot of things I don't like to be when it comes to specifically being a man. Well, we are not appreciated in any way.
Well, it's not just not appreciated, right?
Yeah, we are privileged.
That's like the non-parenting thing. Aren't you actively attacked and blamed for just about every social ill?
Yeah, for instance, at work, I quit that job because I sat in the same room as a hardcore feminist, and she said the only reason I had the job was because I was a white male. So I couldn't. And then at another occasion, this was before Donald Trump became a contender for the Republican nomination. But we were eating lunch, and his name came up, and I didn't know much about him at that time, but I said I think he's a funny person, and then she looked at me and said, "So you think sexism and racism is funny?" So she said and looked at me. So those two events concluded that I left the job. You can't be in. You have to leave environments with those kinds of people. But for instance, when you work, if you're an employee at a normal Swedish company, you can't basically have an opinion that is anti-feminist, feminist, or anti the immigration system. It's very, very politically correct. So.
Well, what happens if you do? Like if you say, "Well, I'm not sure these migrants is a very good idea in the long run, and maybe too much too soon."
They will do exactly. Well, for instance, take that with Trump. That's what they do. She called me a sexist and a racist because I said I think Trump is funny, and that was before he even started his campaign.
So is
you're
it
verbally
basically
abused if you even say anything like that? So
right, and you could get fired, right? You could, right?
Yeah, or like me. In my case, I left by myself because it was not pleasant. You can't work in the same room as a person who says the only reason you have the job is because you're a white male. You're privileged.
No, I get. I mean, it certainly is tough.
Even though when I decided to quit, everyone else was said I was one of the best that had done that work. So I was very good.
And of course, if you were to go to complain, to say that this woman is saying that I only have a job because I'm a white male, which is offensive to me, what would happen?
Well, the other males are so feckless, so they wouldn't want to deal with it either.
So you would end up being in trouble, probably, right?
Probably because she would lie constantly, and she has no moral. She will just make stuff up, I guess.
Yeah, and in any conflict between the man and the feminist, the women will flock to the feminist in general, and the men will white knight, and right.
Yeah, and she hasn't, because she has no moral. She can use any tactic she wants, and I would never do that. So if
she's a victim, so she has no standards.
It's an uneven battle. I can't win it.
Yeah.
So the only way to live for me in Sweden in the future, because I'm a student last year now, is to have my own company.
And you can't bring a penis to a state fight. I mean, these days it doesn't work. So you have some significantly negative aspects to being a man in Sweden, right?
Yeah, you can't have a man in Sweden who has distinct opinions and takes space. That's very negative. That's threatening to a lot of people. It's insane.